So I feel like that's a good time to transition into what we wanted to talk about, you know. You and I have been talking about doing this for God knows how long, where we just sit down and just talk about a movie. And we landed on Avatar 3 because I think we really wanted to do something fairly soon. And Avatar 3 felt like the right and biggest movie,
Yeah.
before the end of the year. Um, I mean, unless you want to consider the upcoming Anaconda as like the next biggest movie.
Yeah, no,
What do you think?
I'm probably going to see that on Christmas Day with my family, so
Yeah.
I'm not excited about that movie.
I'm getting flashbacks to the 2018's Holmes and Watson.
Oh no,
Weren't
really?
Yeah, because
You
like
think it's gonna be that bad?
weren't both movies produced by Sony?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
And the fact that they're coming out on Christmas Day, I don't know, man. I'm getting flashbacks to Holmes and Watson.
I'm hopeful it's more at least like Jumanji level. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
If it's at least like goofy fun, I kind of wish it was rated
Mhm.
R. It kind of makes me more iffy that it's PG-13 because I don't want them to go like too silly and not enough. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be violent, but I
I
just
don't
want it
think
to be
so either.
fun.
No, I mean that's all you can ask for. I mean, I have a ticket for that for December 28th, which is my birthday, but I might go see it in New
Nice.
York on Christmas Eve. Um, but I wanted to, you were talking about it being important for us to go to the movie theaters.
Yes.
And I saw an article last night where it said that 2026 was projected to be the biggest year for theatrical movies since 2019, which is incredibly important. But after my experience with Avatar, look, there's a reason why these movies need to be seen in theaters.
Yeah.
But with the people sitting next to me, I don't know how much more I can really like take with the current climate of the theatrical experience.
Oh, damn.
I mean, the guy sitting next to me was periodically on his phone, and it's not like, okay, it's a 3 hour movie, and for me, if I ever if somebody's like calling me or texting me and I feel like it's important, then
Hmm.
like I have my hoodie with me. I'll like hide my phone so that way it's not
Yeah.
bother anyone else. But dude, people just out in the open have their
Yeah.
phone out.
Yep. Nope. I didn't have that time, but I 100%
Mhm.
did the thing that you're saying where like I had it under
Mhm.
my jacket, periodically
Yeah.
checking my time because especially, I mean, right now I still live in the Midwest in Michigan and
Mhm.
there was a winter storm yesterday. So I was periodically
Yeah.
checking just to make sure like I didn't need to get the hell out of there before because I had a 45-minute drive home after that. So I was periodically just checking the time to make sure, okay, we're not and we're not
Okay,
getting any
so
storm alerts.
so what time was your movie?
It was 1 o'clock.
So did you get there right at 1 o'clock? Or did you get
No, no,
there
no.
or
I
did you
got
get there
there.
like right at the end?
I got
Like at
there
the end of
like
the trailers.
I probably got into the movie about 5 minutes before it really started.
So you spent 45 minutes going there during a winter storm.
Just
You were
about,
there
yeah.
for 3 hours and 15 minutes,
Yep.
and then you drove 45 minutes back. I
Yep.
feel like that's real dedication.
That's the craft, man. I mean, I
Yeah.
have a closer theater, but that one, they don't have. I can see 3 movies a week at this other one for $20 a month. It's not an
Mhm.
AMC; it's a celebration.
Oh, okay.
But
So,
the theater I
okay.
have, yeah, the theater I have in town, it's like good rich quality or something like that. It's like more of like a
Mm,
Michigan-based chain. And they don't have the membership thing and crap like that. I mean,
mm,
it was ran really shitty. It's a new ownership now, but one of the last times I
mm,
went there was for Into the Spider-Verse when I was home for Christmas break when I was in Florida, and
mm,
there were literal high school kids running up and down the aisles, throwing popcorn and
mm.
candy at each other, and my brother went out and complained, and all they did was give him a coupon for popcorn.
See, man, and I think that that brings me back is that like you could go out and complain about like bad behavior,
Yeah.
but it's not going to be taken seriously, which is the reason why, this bad behavior continues to happen. And no, sorry, go ahead.
No, the only thing that I can think of is a lot of these theaters are so scared to kick people out because they're
Hmm.
so hemorrhaging for the money. So if you kick out the
Yeah.
people that are actually showing up, you're gonna have no one else showing up except for me and you and Adam and a few other people who are still
Right.
dedicated. They're there all the time, and that's
Right.
about it. Like you're gonna and then the old people who show up for the discount days on Tuesdays for me.
No, you make a good point. Um,
I hate
I
it, but
know
it's just what
probably
probably is the
I
motivation.
yeah, I mean I might be overreacting with saying that I don't know if I'm gonna go see movies in theaters anymore because I'm like the only way for me to really see movies early for the most part is to still see them in theaters.
Yeah.
I don't really get digital screenings all that much unless it's like a festival film that needs the attention, or it's something that like is coming out. It's really technically a 2025 movie, but it's not really coming out until 2026. For example, I got a digital screening for Dead Man's Wire, the new movie with Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah.
That movie doesn't come out until January, but since it's technically 2025, they want to make sure that we can actually vote on it, accurately.
Yeah, that's smart.
Um, but going back into Avatar, the reason too I really wanted to talk about this is because I think you and we did not care for the first Avatar.
Nope.
We, I think you and I liked Avatar too. I know I liked it. Did you
I
tell me, did
did.
you
I
like it?
think I want to say I might have even gone as high as 4 stars. Like I genuinely
Hmm.
enjoyed my time with it. And I thought,
Yeah.
especially compared to the first and even this new one, pacing wise,
Hmm.
that second one just moved a lot better.
I completely agree. I mean, I give the second one a 3.5, and I feel like for me that was a really good score for something that I didn't really care for, in the first place.
Yeah.
Um, but with this one, I don't really know where to begin, man. I mean, it was all I can really say right now, I guess to start off with, is that I was very disappointed.
I completely understand. I mean, my story with this franchise started way back and I never saw it in theaters. I saw it once it finally came out on DVD after hearing all of the hype about it in theaters.
Mm,
And I think I watched the first like 20, maybe 30 minutes of it. And
mm,
the DVD that I had rented from Family Video started skipping because it was
mm,
like damaged or whatever. And me and my dad were watching it and we took it back to the store and they were like, "So you want like a different copy or you just want to pick out a different movie?" And we like looked at each other and we're like, "Let's just get a different movie." We neither of us were vibing with it at all. So like that
mm,
was my first exposure to it and I did not actually watch it in full. I mean, I watched clips of it all the time because it's just pop culture. It was everywhere for the longest
yeah,
time, but I don't think I actually watched it until it was actually, it might have even been on Disney Plus, if I'm being completely honest. Like, I had definitely had, the DVD was always around, but I don't think I sat
mm,
down and watched it beginning to end until then. And even when it was on Disney Plus, it was like the absolute thing that was like, if you want to take a nap, that's the thing that's going to knock me out right now because, like, I don't know. It just had nothing built for me. I don't know. It was
yeah,
just a boring. The spectacle is obviously there, and that's the one thing we can say about all of these, especially this newest one.
yeah,
The effects, it is something that needs to be seen on a big screen, and the sound definitely calls for it too. Like, I miss that Dolby Theater a lot just because of all of the speakers and everything, and the sound quality was
yeah,
just top notch. And
yeah.
these kind of movies definitely call for that. The one thing I will say about this movie specifically, I really enjoyed the music. The music was doing the heavy lifting of
Hmm.
making this feel like an epic.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, I completely agree with you on that. And I think for the most part, you and I are pretty much going to fall in line, at the end of this with where how we feel about it, even though
Yeah.
you went a little bit higher than I did.
And I
You look at
genuinely
my,
thought I was going to go lower like you did. But there's just
yeah,
certain things I think I just enjoyed
yeah,
more than I thought I would, I guess.
right. And honestly, I actually did go lower than what I did in the beginning. Initially, I gave it a 2 out of 5. And we can go more into the reason, behind that. But, if you look at my Letterboxd 2025 ranking, I mean, there's like 300 plus movies on there.
Yeah.
And I thought a lot about Jurassic World Rebirth for some reason. And I gave that movie a 2.5 out of 5. And I'm like, well, I do feel like this new Avatar is better than Jurassic World Rebirth. And
Yeah.
so I ultimately did give this a 2.5 out of 5. I don't know, man. It's a mess. I feel like go ahead.
No, I just reminded, I was like, you're not wrong in that rating though, because I mean, even
Mhm.
thinking about Jurassic Park and this, it has a lot of the same problems. Where like, does it have the familiarity of the franchise? Yes, it
Mhm.
has a lot of the
Mhm.
staples, but does it have the
Yeah.
same emotional impact that it like James Cameron saying it was gonna have you emotional like Titanic? You could fuck off with that.
Dude, that was I'm sure you're saying that too because like you saw me share that
I
on
100%, I did
Instagram.
not see it. I did not
Oh,
see it
really?
until
Okay.
you actually posted that, and I was just like,
Okay.
that's fucking hilarious."
I'm like I saw the movie and then I saw him say that and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have that emotional impact. I think the second one definitely has a more of that emotional impacts. And I guess right now I would say it's safe to say we can get into spoilers.
Yeah, I'm
But
definitely spoiler tags all over this bitch. Yeah, I
okay,
want to talk about
cool.
it.
So I feel like if I guess if you're watching this and you haven't seen like the second one and you know that we're talking about Avatar 3, um, I don't know, maybe you will watch the Avatar movies at some point, or maybe you just don't care.
Yeah.
But I would say it's safe to assume that if anybody's watching this, that they have seen Avatar 2. And it's funny because in the Avatar 3 synopsis, they do spoil uh, Jake, Jake Sully's son's like
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah.
I was surprised by that. And I think with it took 13 years for the second one to come out. And I think to see his own son dying was a lot more emotionally impactful. But with this one, I can't say I was ever emotionally hooked. There is one key death in the film that happened so randomly that I still was just left feeling like, okay, well, that left me with nothing.
Yeah, the lengths that it goes to be such a big moment for that death of it being a mother birthing a child, but
Yeah,
it doesn't have any actual like exactly, it has no emotional impact on really the story at all, other than like
no,
she now has a baby with her. It's the only like, if the baby wasn't there or that scene wasn't even in the movie, nothing changes. Like it had no
nope,
impact at all. And yeah, I mean, that's the one thing that feels very weird. It's like this is obviously supposed to be a movie about grief, a lot of
mm,
it,
mhm,
and dealing with family and birthright and even racism in a lot of different ways
yeah,
and things. And but with all of those topics, it doesn't really feel like it wants to go too deep into any of them. Like with
yeah,
Jake Sully and his wife losing a child, they don't seem like
mhm,
that distraught, and they also seem to be
no,
very like the kids are more affected than they are in a lot of ways.
yeah,
Like the little brother that's literally being like bastardized by the father, and that's also not a
yeah,
plot line that we haven't seen in a million other movies too.
right. No, I mean that brings us back to the reason why the first movie doesn't work is because it relies so much on stories and ideas that have been done so much better.
Yeah.
I think the themes there are very important, and I think it might be the only saving grace of these films when it comes to the writing. But from the dialogue to the things that, like, dude, this movie had no reason to be 3 hours and 15 minutes.
No.
All it really is, like, when it said Avatar, Fire and Ash, like the way of water, I was expecting something that leaned a lot more like leaned a lot heavier into like the fire side of like this world, and we didn't get that. It felt like a it's funny, like I almost in my Letterboxd review, I almost said that this might be the shortest amount of time I've ever seen for a remake because it really does feel like just the second movie all over again.
Yeah, with a lot less. I mean, that's the one thing that kind of disappointed me the most is we never really got a whole bunch of the Fire Clan. It's like you were kind of
No,
saying, like we had the main girl a little bit. We didn't really
yeah,
get any interaction with anyone else, nor do we really know that much about them. Like yeah, obviously
yeah.
their stuff got destroyed and they hate Iwa or whatever the goddess, but
Mhm.
that's pretty much all of the motivation we get from them. Which I mean,
I
it's
mean,
okay, but the villain is kind of weak.
honestly, I think the performance from the new villain, I can't remember what her name is. I honestly thought she was like one of the film's better, aspects. I mean, I thought her performance was very good, even though it lacked depth. I still think her performance was very good.
I would agree.
Um,
Yeah.
but I think what really, because like you were talking about Dolby, I did see this in Dolby 3D. It was the earliest showing of the day, and I felt like, this is, dude, like I've said before, this is 3 hours and 15 minutes. You, like you and I initially talked about whether or not I should go see this at a press screening a few nights before. That's like an hour away from me. At 7 o'clock, I probably wouldn't have gotten back home until like 11:30. I didn't get out of this movie until like almost 6. That's, you're talking about staying in the theater for like 4 hours. That's
hmm
insane.
For just one movie. Like I
Yeah.
spend 4 hours in the theater for two movies fairly often, but to just sit in
Right.
one story,
Mhm.
but also feel like that story could have easily been two or three movies at this point, or even a series on whatever streaming service at this point, because especially the
Yeah.
cuts to black and everything, they got
Hmm.
me to the point where I was like, you could easily just end it here and we can go home and we can continue the
Right.
story another day, but they
Yeah.
felt for some reason they needed this to be. People keep calling it the end of the trilogy, but also they're already filming four, so like I don't really understand. And also like it does feel like a completed story, but also not at all,
No.
because there's a lot
They
of
leave
plot lines that are very
way,
much open.
oh, dude, they leave way too many plot holes open. I mean, it feels conclusive to what the second one started, but as a whole, it still feels like there's more to tell.
Yeah.
Rumor is that the next Avatar movie is going to take place 8 years later, and I'm like, okay, but I don't know, man. At this point,
It'll make more sense
I
to Sigourney Weaver's character because that's like I love Sigourney Weaver as an actress,
mhm,
but
yeah,
her voice coming out of this little girl avatar as a
mhm,
what is she like 78 years old at this point? It is
yeah,
so jarring to me that she's like having a love interest with this like 12-year-old boy. And like the voice
dude.
coming out of
When
her
I
is
saw
just so
when I
weird.
first, dude, when I first saw them kiss, I was like, that's weird.
It's so weird.
Because I mean, you're talking about Sigourney Weaver and Jake Champion.
Yeah.
They would have had to have kissed in real life, right?
Unless there is someone else doing, that's the only thing that I can think is like whoever's doing the motion capture for the little girl is like a silent person, like we've never heard her
Mm,
speak before.
hmm.
And like
Yeah,
that has to be a really awkward position to be in that cast, but also not actually be a face in the movie or even a voice in the
yeah,
movie or anything.
yeah. No, I mean, that was definitely strange. But I think what really threw me off from the get-go was the high frame rate. Like, when
My
you saw the film, did
screening,
you notice how?
yeah, my screening was called a high frame rate screening. And 100%, actually forgot about that until you mentioned it. But so
Mhm,
when there were scenes of like them just like talking and there wasn't a whole bunch of
mhm,
action, it looked
mhm.
normal. But like whenever
Yeah,
it would break off into a scene of like flying or like
yeah.
action, so have you ever seen a movie where like especially in the Marvel stuff. Like if you see an IMAX, like it'll fill out the whole screen and then sometimes it'll get
Hmm.
shorter again.
Hmm.
It felt
Yeah.
like that. Like it was so
Yeah.
jarring visually that it
It
was like
was, yeah.
hyper realistic. It did not it felt like a video
Yeah.
game cutscene of like you're playing and then all of a sudden it's like really
It's like
weird.
speeding up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It felt like if you ever watch anything on Netflix at 1.5 times speed, that's what it felt like.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And I said it in my review, but do you remember like the boom of like LED and LCD TVs when like
Hmm.
they were like really, really popular? And I remember going to like places like Best Buy and like looking at the different TVs, and there were different TVs that you could just tell that the high frame rate looked off. And that's really what this, I mean, honestly, even some of Michael Mann's films, he kind of uses like a little bit of a weird frame rate. And I noticed that with this movie that I'm like, this is completely unappealing. And I think at the 2 hour mark, I was like, I'm done with this. Like, I really thought the movie was almost over. And I looked at like my watch and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, I think
Yeah.
between the long drawn out scenes where like nothing was really happening, people were just talking, and then the high frame rate and the repetitiveness of the second one, I was just like, this is just incredibly disappointing.
Well, yeah, we had, especially, we didn't even get into like some of the cringiest dialogue I've heard in 2025 of just like you're trying to use meme humor that's already outdated by the time this movie's coming out because you filmed it like a year ago.
Mm.
And then like you're saying, the repetitiveness of just being like, all right, Jake Sully's now the bad parent. And now, oh, what is her name? Natiri? Is it Natiri or is that a
I
different
think
character?
you're talking about Zoe
Yeah.
Saldana's character. I think it's Natiri.
Yes, and then Natiri's the bad parent because she hates the men and everything, and then she's like, "But your parents,
Yeah.
your kids are half breeds and everything like that," and it's just like
Mhm.
we keep just going back and forth, and then Jake Sully wants to kill Spider and everything, and it's like, "No, Spider saved you," and it's just like none of
Dude,
this
that
really
scene
makes
pissed me off.
sense.
It
It
doesn't, and
feels like a soap opera, like they're trying to
it
just
does.
peel the heart out of you.
Yeah.
It's like get emotional, putting fucking like salt in your eyes, be like, cry,
Right.
bitch.
Right. Yeah, yeah. And I don't think the films have the right star power to really pull off those kinds of scenes.
No.
Um, I mean, you
This
have,
is Sam Worthington in his house while he's preparing.
yeah, yeah. Um, what? I mean, there's probably only one Oscar-winning actor in this film, being Zoe Saldana. Is there any
I
more like Oscar winners or even Oscar nominated actors? I mean, is Sigourney Weaver Oscar
I
not
think
like nominated?
Sigourney might be nominated, maybe, but yeah,
I think
pretty
the
much
point.
that caliber. I mean, we lost Kate Winslet in the last one, so we lost a huge heavy hitter with
Oh
that
no, no,
one.
no,
And
no, no. Kate Winslet was in this one, but
oh, I
we
thought,
lost her in this one.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I forgot
But
about
yeah,
that.
but
But
yeah,
like
that's pretty much.
I'm looking at the cast here, man, and
James
it's like
Cameron was in the movie, if that counts. He was like a
he was in
doctor,
this
I
movie,
think. I think so. He was
was
like a
he?
doctor when they have Spider like locked up and they're doing like different experiments on him in that lab. I think James Cameron was like one of the people that was like poking and prodding him and stuff. I
Interesting.
did the whole Leo meme when I was in the theater to no one because I was there by myself. But
Yeah. Um, I think the point that I'm making is that this one feels like it's consistently trying to allow the star power to bring out their performances more. And I don't think this franchise works off of that. It works best when it's like doing the world building, leaning into the visuals. And I think at the moment, the second one is definitely at, the franchise's peak for sure.
I saw someone actually before we started doing this compare this series, this trilogy, to the Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy of being
I
like
thought the exact same thing.
the first one is kind of the one that sets everything up, the second one being the peak, and then the third
Are you
one
talking are you talking
kind
about
of
Chris
wrapping
Duckman's
up.
video?
Was it Chris Stuckman? It might have been. I watched two like
Because
back to back, so it might have been his.
when I was watching this, I did think of the Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy. And then I heard Chris Tuckman's video,
Yeah.
and it's like that's funny that I wasn't the only one thinking that, but it's also funny that you are even agreeing
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah, I was thinking
Um,
that and also the newest like Star Wars trilogy a bit too.
mhm,
Like The Force Awakens is very much like what people kind of always think about of being their all their favorite stuff being in the first
mhm.
Avatar movie. Last Jedi was my favorite personally, and I liked where it went.
Mine too.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
So then yeah, and then the third one is just a discombobulation of it all really, and all of the kind of
yeah.
like the worst parts combined and just the weakest
Mhm.
because of also the writing being just like we don't
Yeah.
know what to do here, so we're just gonna try to wrap it all up in a bow and send you home hopefully happy.
Right. And the fact that between two and three, because the third one is really, my cat is like wanting to be up here. Um, sorry.
No,
Um,
you're good.
the third one is meant to be like an expansion of the second one story. So when
Yeah.
you really think about it, we're with this story for 6 hours. Why? Like, there's absolutely no reason for that.
It's literally a DLC off of the main story game that we
Yeah,
didn't
no,
really
exactly.
that wasn't worth
Yeah.
the $30+ that we paid for it.
Nope. No, it's funny. I mean that's a great way to compare that. I did get a PS5 earlier this year, and
Same.
I recently bought the Avatar video game because I'm like, this actually looks pretty cool. And it's funny because even though I got the game, there's like two different add-ons with it that I think came out the same day as this movie. And I'm like, at this rate, I don't even know if I'm going to keep playing the video game. I was so disappointed with how this one, the direction that this one went in. And, for me, I try to avoid all trailers. Sometimes it's kind of impossible. But with this one, I avoided all of the trailers somehow. And I went in expecting more of a world building for like like I said before, the fire side of this world.
Yeah.
And that I would probably say that maybe happened for like 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah, it really warrants like as much as I almost hate to say it, like it almost needs like a mini series at this point to fill in
Yeah.
that lore that we didn't get for this movie. It would have been a great thing to put in more than the kids going on the Save the Whales mission, which I mean, I get it. James
Yeah.
Cameron loves the whales and I love whales too, but
Right.
it wasn't that necessary to all of it. I
No.
love animals, but
Yeah.
to break away for over
Yeah.
a half hour to 45 minutes of this 3 hour plus movie, I could have dealt without it and it would have not, like I
Mhm.
said, a lot of this shit you could easily leave on the cutting room floor. Does not change
Mhm.
anything. It could be an extra on Disney Plus when it comes out or a Blu-ray exclusive, whatever.
Mhm.
It's just
Yeah.
things that
No.
like he could have easily done, but just chose not to. That's where like I don't I don't dislike everything about it. It was
Mhm.
if I was just watching this and wasn't trying to even relate it to anything else or just
Mhm.
try to bare bones watch the visuals, it's fun to look at for the most part. The high frame rate
Mhm.
stuff, I would much rather it just be 24 frames per second and not have to deal with
Yeah.
all of that stupidness, but
Was the first and second one that the frame rate wasn't that high on the first and the second one, was it?
I don't even, especially the first one, I don't even know if a
Mhm.
lot of that technology could have gone that high when it comes to certain things. And
Mhm.
he might have done some experimentation stuff with the second one, but I want to say
Mhm.
with this movie coming out right now, I want to say there's at least like six, maybe even eight different types of screenings that are almost available in certain
Mhm.
theaters. Like not every theater has all of them, but there's 3D, there's like 3D with the 4DX, and
Mhm.
there's a bunch of just different stuff to the point where it's like you want them to experience it in so many different ways, but like
Yeah.
I don't I don't get it fully. Like if you love this series and you're in hardcore 5 out of 5 on all of these movies and you're waiting to
Mhm.
watch the third one, you're gonna
Mhm.
like the third one. Like
Yeah.
these are the same thing honestly with Five Nights at Freddy's. Like if you're down
Mhm.
for all of the lore and you're really deep into this series, James Cameron's doing this for you. He's not doing it
Mhm.
for the casual. He wants the casual's money, by all means, he wants that, but
Yeah.
more than anything, this is made for people that are super nerds about it and just have been waiting to play on Pandora for however long.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, you definitely make a good point. Earlier this year, I also went to Animal Kingdom for the first time, and I went to Pandora, and like, dude, I really do love the world building with this franchise. I even think the visuals here are probably at its best. I
Mhm.
mean, I don't remember when the second one started filming, but I know that the second and third movie were shot back to back, and it finished in December of 2020, leaving 5 years for this movie alone for the visual effects to be perfected.
Yeah.
And I feel like they did a really good job with it. Any sort of award nominations, for the visual effects team, it's fully warranted. And I'm glad that I did see this in theaters rather than like watching it when it comes out on Disney Plus on my TV or my
Yeah.
laptop or my phone, anything else
Or your
but the
refrigerator.
theater. Yeah.
People have refrigerator
Uh,
cameras and stuff now.
yeah. Um, I think I'm not mad. I mean, you saw that in my letterbox review. I said I'm not mad, I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
I'm not mad that I saw this in theaters because really, I mean, visually it was amazing. But I'm
Yeah.
disappointed by the film's writing when it really felt like the second one was finally on the right track.
Yeah. It could have easily used a few more drafts, probably even another person getting in on there on the script. Because, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't have, as much as James Cameron wants to say it has emotion, it definitely wants to be emotional, but neither the performances nor the actual dialogue or anything really
Mhm.
warrants it, to be fully honest.
Could you tell me one scene in the movie where you're almost cried? Where you like you not even cried, but like got teary-eyed?
No. The only part that
Yeah.
made me sad was for the kids when they were about to fucking just kick Spider to the curb. That shit was, I was
Mhm.
like, y'all are fucking bitches for that shit. Like, that's legitimate. Like, I was on the kids' side immediately. I was like, huh?
Yeah.
I was like, why you want
Yeah.
to kick out this little white boy? What'd he do?
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Little Tarzan.
I do want to talk about Stephen Lang.
Yeah.
I've with you and I talking, I feel like there's been moments where Stephen Lang has just been staring into my soul with your background. What did you think of his character here?
It was weird. It's, I get what they're going for almost. Like,
Yeah.
he has such a, oh, because he has the memories of the old guy, so it's not
Mhm.
fully him, and he like has, even though he's an avatar, he has almost more humanity than the other guy, and he like wants to be a dad, but also still has the evilness, and it's like he's like fighting the yin and yang inside of him is kind of what it feels like they're going for, and it's ultimately I feel like wanting to build that he's gonna be a good guy by the end of it, but.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was weird, especially how sexual it got with the fire lady too. Like them literally
That was
having like
weird.
a laying together. I was like, we're getting into Wicked territory, and I didn't even think Wicked was gonna
Yeah.
go there.
I didn't either. That was especially for a PG movie.
Yeah,
I was surprised by that. With Stephen Lang, I like the direction that they put his character in the second one because even before the second one was made and we heard that Stephen Lang was coming back, I think everyone was like, "But he died in the first one. Like,
yeah,
how's that going to work?" And I think they did a good job with bringing him back in the second one. But in the third one, there's moments where he has like some really good scenes. He's a great villain pretty much in anything that he is a villain in.
yeah.
But I was so disappointed by the way he was killed off. That was just so lazy and dumb and pointless.
Yeah, and the way they keep doing it too, it's like I don't he's not dead again. Like you keep trying to fake it
Yeah,
out, but James Cameron loves the you'll be back type shit too. So I mean
yeah,
especially
yeah,
the
yeah.
guy falling into the fire. I mean, we couldn't be more Terminated like that.
Right. And I mean, it's funny because like these movies, even though they were inspired by James Cameron's dreams, there are a lot of similarities with his other works, you know, the
He's
ending
doing the
of
same thing
Avatar
James
2.
Cameron's doing. I mean, Chris
Right.
Stuckman's doing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I like the second one, the conclusion of it reminded me so much of Titanic.
Yeah.
Whereas with this one, it's like you said with Terminator, I can see, you know, those comparisons as well. It feels like
But
there's so
I
much.
just want to butt in just
Oh,
for a second. Was it also
yeah.
very weird to you at the very end of the movie? Obviously, we're doing spoilers still. When Sigourney
Mhm.
Weaver was just in with all the different avatars in the afterlife.
Dude,
Like, I don't know why
I
that
knew
makes
that
sense. I don't know why that would be
I
there.
I knew that she was going to be in it because I saw on like I accidentally saw on the Avatar 3's Wikipedia page that she was like physically in it as her like own self, not as the Avatar. And you know that one scene where the all the kids are like going down into the water and they're trying to get like Mother to help
Hmm.
them like, you know, beat the villain.
Yeah.
And it's Sigourney Weaver's like face like blown up, like slowly turning around. I actually laughed during that scene. I'm like, this is so dumb.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some choices that just did not. Almost all of them around Sigourney Weaver. Like I said, love Sigourney Weaver, legendary
Yeah,
actress, but
yeah,
most of the stuff that she has in this movie, and I think it's purely just because she's friends with James Cameron, and that's awesome.
right,
She's great in
right.
James Cameron movies, but just like we could have cast someone else and it would have been probably a lot better.
I
Like you
completely
can still
agree. I
have her
mean,
voice in a little bit too, and shit, people do
mm,
it all the time where you do like voice mixing and everything. So like both
mhm,
performances could vibe together. Like there's so many choices that could be made, but
yeah.
it's just weird.
And then what did you think about um I think I'm pronouncing their names right, but Eddie Falco and Giovanni, is it
Ribisi, yeah.
Ribisi? What did you think
Yeah.
about them in this movie?
Yeah, Edie Falco, I don't know her that well. I mean, I've never actually watched Sopranos, but I know her more as
Mhm.
Nurse Jackie from that show. I watched a few episodes of that, and I mean, she's fine. She's a military person, but she's threatening, but like I enjoyed
Mhm.
Giovanni Ribisi playing like a rat guy, but
Mhm.
also a lot of that stuff is like they're so they're here just because they're familiar faces, I think, more than anything. Like they have no actual bearing on a lot of what was going on. Like they were
Yeah.
obviously trying to rein in Stephen Lang the whole time, but ultimately
Mhm.
he did whatever the fuck he wanted to do. They had no power against.
Right. Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I think I was very disappointed by that too. Um, Edie Falco, it seems like she's having a little bit more of a resurgence lately. I have seen The Sopranos, love that show. She's
Yeah, I
currently
need to
in the
get
new
on that.
season. Yeah, she's currently in the new season of Mayor of Kingstown,
Okay.
which I think that show is just that's a whole nother episode that we could possibly talk about. That show's just all over the place. But I think I was very disappointed by like the lack of purpose with her character here.
Yeah.
And then Giovanni Ribisi has so much more screen time in this one, but there's still no point to his character at all. Like there's no closure to these two characters at all by the end of it.
No, he's purely just like, oh, I'm the rich guy who's here to make decisions. That's all
Yeah,
he
and
is.
you know, okay, besides Jake Sully and Natiri, could you tell me any of the other characters' names?
No. Well,
Yeah,
is
and
Sigourney
we just
like
saw the movie.
Kiwa or something? I don't
I don't.
remember.
I mean, they're okay. I know that you know they do use native names, and I feel like that that's an easy pass to like. they can be a struggle trying to remember all the different names there. But
No, but
even
like
with like
truly, I don't even remember Stephen Lang's character name. I just know
right,
him
and
as I call him
even
Stephen
like
Lang while I watch it.
right, yeah, and even like the human villains like Edie Falco
Yeah,
and Giovanni, Ribisi.
Ribisi. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Um, I couldn't tell you their names. I don't know what they are.
No, no, not even a little bit.
So if things work out fine, we're talking about Avatar 4 coming out in 2029. How do you think that this franchise can get better? Like, what would you like to see in Avatar 4?
Uh, Everyone, there's got to be some more stakes to things. I mean, they tried to
You took the words out of
manufacture.
my mouth. I was just about to say that.
Yeah, I mean, they tried to manufacture drama, but it was some
Mhm.
of the weakest stuff. Like,
Mhm.
a lot of it didn't even depend on their own kids most of the time. It depended on Spider. All of
Mhm.
it was back and forth with them. And like, yes,
Mhm.
they did have a kid die in the last one, but like that almost feels inconsequential just because there was almost, other than the oldest boy now having to deal with it,
Mhm.
almost no one else. Everyone else is just going as regular scheduled programming. Like,
Mhm.
he's the only one truly dealing with the grief of it more than anything. And they're all
Yeah.
just dealing with their own personal issues most of the time and personal griefs. And
Yeah.
it's just, yeah, there needs to be something bigger going on, whether it be with family members or just like bigger stakes than just like, I don't know. It doesn't need to be like world ending like every Marvel movie does, but I don't
Mhm.
know, just something that actually with some substance. Like I literally said it was all, I think I said in my review that it was all flash and no substance or riz or something like that, but it
Yeah.
truly
Yeah.
just didn't have anything that I can really like literally less than 24 hours ago, I was still in the theater 24 hours ago. The movie started at 1. I was still in there. And then I don't remember barely any of it. Like I was watching
Mhm.
someone talk about the
Yeah.
spoiler review thing after I watched the Chris Stuckman, and I like truly
Mhm.
some of it was felt like brand new information, even though I only went to the bathroom twice during the movie, and one of them was just
Yeah.
because I needed to walk out and check my phone.
Right. And I went to the bathroom once, and it's I completely agree with you. I think there are scenes here that are just flat and not memorable at all. Um, I think I heard at one point that either Avatar 4 or 5 is supposed to show what Earth looks like. And I'm like, dude, that would actually be kind of sick to have like the, these characters from Pandora go to Earth for some reason and just to see how they would interact in our world versus us being in their world.
Well, and
Um,
they set up the stuff with Spider being able to breathe now and being able to exist on Pandora and everything, and that sets up like some more interesting stuff for the humans, but we never even really get that far. So like I'm hopeful that something more can come of that. That's an interesting plot line to go down, but it's just like
yeah,
we were teased that for over half the movie, but we never fully even
right,
get to that.
right. And there's a part of me that feels like if James Cameron continues to make these movies, he's not going to learn what doesn't make these movies work, and we're just going to keep on getting the same stuff over and over and over again. Do you, is there a filmmaker that comes to mind that could come in and make this franchise better?
Hmm. I mean, there are a few that probably could, but I don't know if I can't think of any that would like willingly want to jump into this at the top
I
of my
know.
brain at the moment. Like Steven Spielberg is an obvious choice of like he could probably do something cool with it because he's used to such a large scale thing. But I mean, yeah, I don't even know.
Maybe
I,
Denis Villeneuve?
that would be
Maybe.
awesome. He
I
definitely
doubt
with
that. I
Dune and
doubt that's going to
everything.
happen. And
Yeah.
when not doing, he's going to do James Bond. I doubt that's ever going to happen.
Oh, I didn't even
Um,
know that. That's even cooler.
yeah, yeah. I mean, from what I understand, he just finished wrapping, Dune Part 3 and is supposed to jump into James Bond next.
Hell yeah.
I, Steven Spielberg, I mean, he's probably older than James
That's
Cameron, right?
that's true. Yeah. I almost rather James Cameron do something else at this point. Like I want to see James Cameron do
Yeah,
more something in line with like a Terminator, or
yeah.
even if he wanted to do another Alien type movie again.
Well, there's been like I don't even know if they're rumors, but I've heard this and I've read reports on it, but it just feels like nothing's really moving forward with it. But I've been hearing where James Cameron is wanting to make a movie about um so it's almost like the inversion of Oppenheimer, where this story is based off of a book, from what I understand. And the nuclear bombs that went off during World War II,
Hmm.
there is a story there that happened in real life where one individual, I guess, was there during the first nuclear bomb, traveled to the second location from, by coincidence, just as the second bomb went off. And I guess he survived both bombs.
That's
And
crazy.
yeah, and I've been here where James Cameron is going to make a movie there, and I'm like, dude, do it. Like, I
Yeah.
don't, I think I've had enough of the Avatar movies at this point that I wouldn't be disappointed if fourth one never came, to fruition. It will, because
Yeah.
I mean, do you think that this movie is going to make $2 billion like the first two movies?
No, I really
What,
don't.
where do you think it's going to fall at?
Eh, it'll make over 1 billion,
Yeah,
probably. I don't know if
yeah,
it'll even hit point 0.5. Just the way the box office is rolling right now. I mean, I haven't looked at the numbers for this yet, obviously. We're only
mhm,
on Saturday right now, but
mhm,
worldwide, it's gonna probably do fairly well. But I mean, just in the US, people aren't going to the theaters like they were, and I don't think Avatar 3 is gonna be the thing to really push people over the edge, I don't think. I mean, if
yeah.
anything this will be, but I don't think it's going to be the big one that we really need, especially 2
So from
billion.
Yeah, well, from what I understand, this movie cost $400 million to make, meaning that
Yeah.
it needs to at least a billion to break even. And it
Yeah.
will. I really do think it'll make it over a billion, which means that I don't think Disney's going to get rid of this franchise. So whether it's with James Cameron or not, we're going to get more out of this franchise.
Yeah. No, and I honestly, I especially with the lengths that they're going to with the trying to make it so vasting. It's like if you wanted to
Mhm.
actually make something a bit more with story and not as much, sure, you could make all these spectacle movies, but to fill in more of the actual plot line and more of the character, utilize Disney Plus at this point. It's there. You could
Yeah,
easily probably make even more money if you did a 6 episode thing of, like I said, the Fire Tribe or whatever, and
yeah,
do stuff to really make, to at least fill in a little bit more. And that could even
yeah,
probably make this movie better if you give us
yeah.
more of that presence at least and fill in a little bit of the blanks that we're missing.
Dude, I completely agree. I didn't even like think about that, but I would be interested in that. I mean, look, I think you and I both know that there are flaws with this movie.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's just a matter of like what we want out of the franchise going forward. With what we say, are we going to speak it into existence? Or it feels like I can't tell if the franchise could get better going forward, or if it's just going to be the same thing over and over and over again.
Especially if we're in the minority at this point and everyone is just gonna eat this up and love it
Hmm.
anyway, then who
Hmm.
are we to judge, I guess? We're not the fandom that they're really writing towards, I guess. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm definitely hopeful that they put in a little bit more effort to try to make it at least a movie that like everyone can see. Because like obviously, yeah, right to your fans, right to the people that are going to obviously buy your tickets. But the same
Mhm.
problem that I do have with Five Nights at Freddy's too. It's like, yeah, you wrote a little too hard to your hardcore fans that are gonna clap whenever they see their fan favorite moment. But to
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
to get all of the money, to get more people into the seats, you kind of need to be a little bit more
Right. Yeah. I was curious. I'm looking
approachable.
at right. I'm looking at Letterbox right now. Avatar Fire and Ash currently has a 3.7 out of 5, which is currently the highest one, but to be fair, the first one has like 4 million like
Yeah.
people who have seen it, whereas this one right now has 170,000. So for me to say that this is the highest scoring one so far on Letterbox is maybe a little bit premature.
I'm about to
But
check IMDb real quick too.
I think the point that I'm trying to make is that for 170,000 people and to have a 3.7 out of 5 is still a solid score
Yeah.
that you're right. I think, going forward, I don't know if the franchise is going to recognize its own mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
With
I don't know.
17,000 people on IMDb, it has a 7.6 right now. So I mean, and a
It's not
61 on
bad.
Metacritic with 55 critics rating it. So I mean, it's
Yeah.
pretty, I mean, it's not as high as I expected it to be for something
Yeah.
like this, just because it has
Yeah.
so many people that are like, I mean, I'm not saying that Adam Donato is wrong in any way,
No,
but
and
there are a lot of people like him that
mhm,
they fucking eat everything up Pandora. They
right.
were
And
at a perfect age when the movie came out. I
right.
think I might have been like what, 2000, what was it, 2009 that came out?
The first one, yep.
Yeah, so I was 12, 13 years old, which I think around that time was when I broke my arm. So like I was a shut-in for that time because like I
Yeah.
literally I had an immobilizer that had my arm attached to my belly, like around my body. So like
Oh
I
wow.
literally when I went back to school, I had
Oh,
to wait until the 5 minute period while everyone was switching classes. Either I'd left class early to get through the hallways or waited after because if anyone bumped into me, they would have fucked
mm,
my shit up.
yeah.
So like I was not allowed to basically be around people for a long time.
Oh wow. I did not know that. That's crazy. I actually broke both of my wrists in kindergarten. Fell out of a tree. Broke
Yeah.
both of them at the same time. That was fun.
Right before I went to kindergarten, I broke my freaking foot in 5 places. Me and my
Oh
brothers were
God.
jumping off steps at my aunt's house onto like blankets at the bottom of it. It was like inside steps.
Oh
And my foot must have slipped on something. And yeah, when I jumped, the foot just like smacked the stairs, like right
yeah.
across the toes and everything, just broke.
Dude,
I
that
was in a
sounds
boot when I went
awful.
to kindergarten.
Oh my God. That's wild, man.
Yeah.
I just realized that my cat is still on the back of my chair. I did not realize he was still there. Um, I
But
forgot
yeah,
what.
Avatar is fine. It's not it's not
Yeah,
anything
I think what I
worth
was gonna say
running
because
out
like
to.
no, and anybody who gives this a 5 out of 5, I don't disagree with them. And honestly, I've gotten to the point where movies have just become so subjective, um, that I don't think anybody's really right or wrong with how
No,
they feel about a movie.
that's the most beautiful part about it, honestly. It's like
Yeah,
when I look at it and I see somebody give something a 5 star that I think is like a 1 to 2 star, I
yeah,
genuinely get excited and want to read and kind of hope it's not just like a shit post review and they
right,
actually delve into like why they feel that way because like
right, yeah, yeah,
if if something in your life changed your way of thinking about this certain thing, it's like that could be
yeah,
super cool and a cool way to look at a certain way in a movie. And whether
right,
it's just a past experience you had or just a way that you've thought about a certain angle, it's like no one is
yeah,
genuinely wrong in their opinion.
no. That's why
Except for
too,
when
like
Quentin Tarantino says that Paul Dano's a bad actor. That's just a shit take.
I know that okay. I feel like that's like a whole nother thing to talk about because I am definitely very frustrated with